Thank you to Softr for sponsoring this video. Lovable is one of the most hyped AI builders on the internet, but it's also not the right choice for a lot of you. Don't get me wrong, Lovable is genuinely good at what it does. Depending on what you're building, there might be a better tool for the job. Today, I'm breaking down the real alternatives, not a list of 10 tools nobody's heard of, but the 3 or 4 you should actually consider depending on your use case. And full transparency, one of them is sponsoring the video, but I'll tell you right now, they've earned their spot. So we're going to start with Lovable as our baseline. Lovable is a genuinely good tool. It's really good for rapid prototyping, conversational UI building, generating clean code, and fast visual iteration. Just as a quick example, here's an MVP I built, which was an AI calorie counter tracker, and it has AI built into the app, so you can take an image, it will track the calories. It has a backend database, user authentication. It's really great for publishing a real full stack app. So if that's what you're looking to do, Lovable is a great choice. But if you're looking for an internal business portal app, easy to set up user roles that can sit on top of your existing data, such as Airtable or Google Sheets, or Notion, Lovable is not going to be able to do that for you. And the pricing can get a little high depending on what you need to build, how many credits you need, and how many users on your team need to collaborate together. So the overall takeaway for Lovable as the starting point is it's great for building full stack MVPs, but if you need internal business apps, you might want to check out some of the alternatives coming up next. Next, we're going to talk about Softr. Softr is best for portals, client dashboards, anything on top of existing data. Softr integrates with 14 plus data sources and a REST API. That includes integrating with Airtable, Google Sheets, Notion, plus Softr has its own backend database product, which is actually really powerful and easy to use for non-technical people, which is something I really like about it compared to tools like Lovable, which is using Supabase in the backend. Even though it's Lovable Cloud, it's really Supabase, which is a powerful database, but not necessarily accessible for non-technical business users. And as I mentioned before, if you don't want to use the Softr database product as your backend, or you already have data living somewhere else, Softr is great for building on top of that data. Some other things to call out about Softr and building portals, business portals, which I think is a really great use case for using Softr over Lovable. It has built-in user roles, which are really important when you're building portals, gated pages, client logins. These are things that with Lovable or some other AI app builders, you would have to build this all custom. And what that means is the typical business user who's going to be building these apps has to be more technical in order to do it. And there's more likely to be bugs or issues coming up when you're doing it if you don't have a development background and really know what you're doing. So that's what's nice about Softr for this specific use case, is that it has all of this built in natively. So you don't have to build it from the ground custom. So you can ship production level apps and business portals instantly. So the main trade-offs are less design flexibility than code-based tools. You're going to be working more with components, although Softr does have an AI chat that's going to build your portal for you, but it's going to be mainly using the components that Softr has. Now you can build custom components with AI, but it's not going to be as custom designed as something like Lovable. So that is something to keep in mind if design is super important to you. It's also not for building native mobile apps. So if that's super important for you to get it into an app store, then Softr might not be the best choice for you. But if you're building an internal tool or client app, I think Softr is where I would point you. Next is Base 44. So Base 44 is best for an all-in-one platform. Compared to Lovable, I think it's a little bit easier to use. It has more integrations, and it also has the super agent product built into the subscription. I'm going to talk about what all of those things mean. So first, in terms of integrations, it has connectors, and it has more connectors than Lovable has. So you can very easily add data sources. You can authorize it in one click and build this into the app that you're creating. You have the ability to add some manual API integrations with your own credentials, such as Monday.com, HubSpot. So these are integrations, you add your own APIs, but then these connectors, what I think is really cool about that is you don't need to add your own API key. It's all done through Base 44. And then you also have the super agent product. This is more of a personal assistant product, which is separate from the AI app builder, but it's integrated in that the personal assistant can build you and then show them to you. So it's kind of integrated with the power of Base 44. But this is a separate product, and this is something Lovable does not have. So this is a cool thing that Base 44 has integrated into it. But I would say just in general, if you're looking for an AI app builder that's easy to get started with, it has the user authentication and backend database, and you can build apps with it, build MVPs with it. Base 44 is a great option. I would say it's a lot more similar to Lovable than Softr is. So if you're kind of thinking about where all of these products fit, Base 44 and Lovable are fairly similar, but I think Base 44 is a little bit easier to get started. The next tool I'm going to talk about is Rork. So Rork is best for building mobile first apps. If you want to get an app onto the App Store, Rork is right now, I think, the best option to do that. And this is something that Lovable can't do currently. So if you want to build an app that gets onto the App Store that's not natively built into Lovable, they also actually have this feature here on Rork, Lovable to mobile app. So that's something that people are looking for, kind of converting their Lovable apps to a mobile app. You can also build games like iPhone games, like 3D iPhone games with Rork, which is something that is pretty cool and also something that Lovable can't do. And I haven't seen a lot of other tools doing. So Rork is really leaning into this differentiation of building mobile apps, building 3D games that are really specific to, okay, what people might want to download on phone. So this is what Rork is for. It's very different from Lovable, but is definitely worth checking out if you want to build an iPhone or Android app. The trade-off here is there's a narrower scope. If you want to build a web app or you want to build a business portal, this isn't going to be the tool for you. You're going to want to look towards some of the other tools we've talked about. Finally, we're going to talk about Claude Code. This is Anthropic's AI coding agent. It builds apps directly in your local environment with real code. So compared to Lovable, you have absolutely no product lock-in. All the code is on your local machine. The pricing is just based on the subscription that you are paying for through Claude. This also applies to Codex if you're using the OpenAI subscription for coding. Very similar tools in terms of custom coding and building your own apps fully from scratch. You can build super complex logic, really custom authentication, although you do need to integrate with another platform like Supabase or Neon to do that. So you're ramping up the complexity and you're just not constrained at all by what a platform might limit you with. So the trade-off is you need to know what you're doing or be willing to learn. There's no built-in UI components or templates. Deployment and hosting are on you. So you also have to figure out how to host, connect to something like Vercel, and it's going to take longer to get to a deployed working version 1 than using Lovable or some of the other tools we've talked about in this video. So this is best for developers and technical founders who want full control and don't want to depend on a platform, but it's going to come with more complexity. So to summarize, Lovable is a great tool for building a full stack version 1 of the app that you want to build. But for some other use cases like building a mobile app, which I would recommend going with Rork, or building a business portal, which I would recommend going with Softr, it might not be the absolute best choice. So hopefully after watching this video, you have a better sense of some of the alternatives and the ecosystem that all of these tools compete in. And if you have any questions at all, leave a comment below and let me know if you want me to cover anything similar to this or different to this in any of my future videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get free content like this every single week. The AI world is changing really quickly, and I'm doing my best to keep you updated with everything as it gets released. And to go even deeper on building with AI and no code, go to nocode.mba and check out our in-depth courses. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.